Do we really know the value of our assets? O baka naman bumaba na yung market value nito, hindi pa natin alam. Yan ang pag-uusapan natin about impairment of assets after this. We're starting Module 1, but assets. Pag narinig natin ito, it rings a bell, di ba? Kasi maaari natin itong pagkakitaan. Kung ikaw ay, let's say, isang negosyante, pwede mong pagkakitaan yung mga goods to be sold or services. Kung ikaw naman ay isang talentado or may talent like sa singing, pwede mong pagkakitaan yung talent mo. At kung ikaw naman ay artistahin, pwede mong pagkakitaan yung talento mo. So, merong future reward sa'yo. So, therefore, it is your asset. Now, sa ating mga accountant, meron tayong asset. Ano yun? Yung skills natin. Pwede natin i-render doon and in return, babayaran tayo. So, an asset, di ba? Sabi natin, meron siyang future reward, may future benefit. Pero ano nga ba yung assets? No? Pagka narinig natin ang assets, napakaganda ng impression sa atin. Kasi kaperahan, something that we would gain. Pero alam nyo ba na pag hindi natin inalagaan ang assets, no, hindi natin ma-maintain ito doon sa kanyang value. Kasi dalawa lang ang pinupuntahan ng assets. It's either tumaas ang value or bumaba. Now, if you know how to reinvent yung asset, no, or let's say alam mo yung yung changes sa market, then you might be able to hedge against or maiwasan mo yung pag-decline ng asset mo. Pero more often than not, sad to say, pag hindi natin alam or pag hindi natin inalagaan ang assets natin, ay pwede itong bumaba ang kanyang market value. Now, ito yung pag-uusapan natin ngayon. It's about impairment of assets. Now, under the definition dito sa accounting, ano ba yung impairment of assets? Pag sinabing impairment of assets, it is the fall of the market value of an asset that is below its carrying amount. Yung recoverable amount niya is lower than its carrying amount in the financial position of the company. Alam niyo naman yung carrying amount. Ito yung yung amount na nakikita natin doon sa asset, no, after deducting yung accumulated depreciation and loss on impairment. So pagka bumaba yung tinatawag na recoverable amount below the carrying amount of the asset, then you can say that it is impaired. Now, accounting for impairment loss is pretty straightforward. Kumbaga, yung carrying amount, no, saka yung recoverable amount, pinagkukumpara yan. Kung mas mababa yung recoverable amount, ibig sabihin yung amount na marirecover pa, then i-write down yung difference nun. So, dito na natin i-carry or dito na natin i-value yung asset na yon dun sa kanyang bagong amount, which is yung recoverable amount. Now, there are three issues dito sa accounting for impairment. So, number one is there is an indication of the possible impairment of the asset. So, mamaya, i-discuss natin isa-isa yon. Yung pangalawa is the measurement of the recoverable amount. And number three, recognition of impairment loss. Now, yung number one is indication of possible impairment. Now, ibig sabihin lang dito, a good manager or a good CEO of the company or whoever dun sa yung mga decision makers dun sa company should assess kung yung asset na nakalagay dun sa operations is maganda pa yung yung bang yield or meron pang cash flow or mataas pa yung cash flow. Now, kung merong drastic na pagbabago, then they should assess that and they should kumbaga kung medyo humina yung kanilang operation because of the asset that they're employing, then they should reduce it to its recoverable amount. Now, merong dalawang klaseng yung impairment of assets. Number one is yung external and pangalawa yung internal. So pag-usapan muna natin yung external sources, no? Yung bang bigla ang pagbagsak nung asset. Now, the events and changes in circumstances that lead to an impairment of asset may be classified as external and internal of information. So external sources, number one or letter A is significant decrease or decline in the market value of the asset as a result of passage of time or normal use or a new competitor entering the market. Now it's very obvious, no? Merong kung naalala nyo, no, yung bang merong yung encyclopedia, it has lost its value now, no, because it was replaced by search engines. So instead na pupunta ka dun sa libro, kukunin mo yung encyclopedia, well, it has done its use, no? Okay, maganda siya, no? In fact, I would still prefer yung encyclopedia, no? However, it has way past its usefulness. So, it was already replaced by yung mga Google search, yung mga search engines, no? Well, sad to say, no, kasi even if it's not a direct competitor, competition mo pa rin yun, no? Competition can, kumbaga, they just come in, no, from all sources. So ito yung una. Pangalawa, there's significant change in the technological, market, legal or economic environment of the business which the asset is employed. So, or it's simply stated, nagbago na yung taste ng consumer, no? So, kumbaga, wala na, hindi niya na type, no? Even in this pandemic, no? So, maraming changes dito technologically, no? So, well, I hope hindi naman permanent, no? Pero some of these changes are, kumbaga, nagiging trend na, no? If not yet a lifestyle, no? So, from face to face, nandito na yung mga online classes because nagkakaroon na ng changes because of the environment, the economic environment, no? And yung technological, no? Even sa market, no? So, ang dami ng even the way of marketing your product, hindi na yung bang nandun pa rin, although nandun pa rin yung mga traditional na marketing, no, even yung traditional sales na door to door, but it does not work as it used to before. Napalitan na kasi meron ng we are already living in a digital world, no, whether we like it or not, no. So meron ng yung karamihan sa mga marketing, especially yung mga malalaking company, they invest on digital marketing. Doon na nila binamarket yung products. And there are traditional business that are shifting doon sa digital marketing. Marami akong nakausap na ganyan, no? So, they think na malakas yung business nila ngayon, pero nung dumating itong pandemya, no, they decided to put up a website and they decide na naglagay sila ng mga ads sa mga social media like Facebook, no? So those are the changes, no? Nagbago na, of course, yung customer taste, no? Shifting from one product to the other. And yung pangatlo, another external factor which also are part of yung bang dun sa external environment, an increase in the market rate or the yung bang ano yung market rate or return on investment, no? Ito yung sa mga make or buy decision or capital investment, no? Such as yung mga ginagamit natin, yung using NPV or net present value, IRR, mga capital budgeting decisions, no? And the last one is the carrying amount exceeds the fair value of the net assets. So ito yung mga depreciated assets like yung mga yung sa mga equipment, sa building, those things, no? Next is yung ano naman yung internal sources, no? Number one is yung, or letter A is the evidence of obsolescence or physical damage of an asset. Naalala nyo ba yung pager dati, di ba? Yung pager yung ginagamit natin dati, yung ano yung bang bago ka maka-reach doon sa ano mo, doon sa gusto mong sabihan ng message, no? Ipadadaan mo muna doon sa operator ng telephone, no? So alam niya na yung ano, yung sikreto nyo, tsaka pa lang mapupunta doon sa ano, doon sa recipient, no? So ito yung ano, so napalitan ito ng cellphone. So because of its obsolescence. So, pangalawa naman, or yung letter B is significant change in the manner or extent in which the asset with an adverse effect on an NPT. Yan, yung bang significant manner, no? O yung ano adverse na yung ano yung effect nitong asset na to, imbis na productive, nagiging ano pa, yung bang pabigat pa. No, nagkakaroon ng ano, imbis na inflows, outflows pa kasi pinapaayos mo, madami mga maintenance. So this is one of the internal factors. And yung next one is yung evidence that the economic performance of an asset will be worse than expected. Now, may mga companies nagpo-project na ito, ganito yung sales natin. Sa ganitong linggo, kailangan sa isang buwan makukuha natin itong targeted natin. Pero hindi yun ang nangyayari. Or kung kung maging closer man doon, tumataas yung receivables nila, yung collectibles. Well, that is not still cash, no? Bakit? So it has also, kumbaga yung performance hindi na-cope up yung kanilang projection. No, iba yung pino-project nila doon sa actual na nangyayari. So, yun yung isa sa mga internal factors. Now, the external and internal factors are just, kumbaga, these are not exhaustive kasi meron pang ibang sources, no? So, sinabi lang natin yung dalawa, internal at saka external, but an entity may identify other indicators that the asset may be impaired. Well, the next one, after identifying that there's a possible impairment, yung pangalawa is yung measurement of recoverable amount. So ito na yung next step, no? Now, after establishing evidence that an asset has been impaired, the next step is to determine yung recoverable amount, yung amount na makukuha pa nila, preparatory to the recognition of the impairment of loss. So, the recoverable amount of an asset is the fair value less yung cost of disposal or value in use, whichever is higher. So, mamaya papakita natin yung accounting steps dito, yung procedures. And also, yung fair value less cost of disposal. Ano ba itong yung fair value nito, no? So fair value is the price that would be able to sell to sell an asset, no, in an orderly transaction between participants at measurement date. Now, minus yung cost of disposal ng asset, which is an incremental cost directly attributable to the disposal of the asset. So itong mga disposal cost na to, no, or cost of disposal, ito yung mga kasama na rin dito yung mga cost of obsolescence, no, yung pagbaba nung market value niya into its kumbaga below cost, no? So kasama dito yun. And also examples of this is yung legal stamp duty, tax, and similar transaction costs, no? Cost of removing and direct cost of bringing the asset in condition for sale, yung mga distribution costs o kasama yun. So napaka-costly ng pagbebenta ng isang asset that has lost its value. So aside from the recoverable amount, there is also what you call yung value in use. Now, ano ba itong value in use? Well, value in use is measured as the present value or discounted value of future net cash flows expected to be derived from the asset. So mamaya ipapakita natin kung paano yung net cash flow dito. So parang may pagkano rin kasi ito yung mga managerial accounting, no, o management accounting na ini-estimate natin yung cash flow, no? The cash flow are pre-tax, so bago raw yung tax, no? And pre-tax discount rate is applied in determining the present value. Now, paano yung calculation nito or calculation in use? So, cash flow projections shall be based on reasonable and supportable assumptions. So, ito yung bang na-estimate na papasok pa sa company, no, despite of the impairment, no? Kasi karaniwan, no, yung mga matatagal na mga equipo o yung equipment ng isang company sa factory, no? So hindi na siya yung wala na yung dati niyang yung mga productive life, no? O mahina na yung kakaunti na lang yung napoproduce niya because yun na nga the factors that was said a while ago, whether external or internal, no? So yung na yun, kumbaga yung bang ma-generate pa niya na cash flow doon sa equipment na yon na ginagamit para mag-produce ng inventory, for example, no? And next, letter B is cash flow projection shall be based on the most recent budgets on financial forecast, no? So usually up to a maximum period of 5 years, no? So parang management accounting to, no? Na merong projection, no? Kasi sa company normally nagpo-project yung mga mga sales manager, no? Even sa accounting, tapos dito gumagawa sila ng budget. Magkano pa yung makukolekta, yung makukuha pang pera diyan kung meron man, no? Kung ito i-retain natin. Of course, siyempre, in doing that, siyempre may mga gastos rin yun. Na pag-usapan natin maya-maya yun, no? And yung letter C is the discount rate used in estimating future cash flows is current pre-tax rate. So, meron tayong discount na rate na gagamitin doon, no? Pang present value. And yung composition ng ng estimate of cash flows, this include letter A, projections of cash inflows from the continuing use of the asset. So, yun nga, yung perang papasok pa despite of using yung let's say yung equipment na yon na kahit na hindi na siya ganun kabilis, no, meron pa rin siyang silbi kahit papaano. Pero kailangan medyo na sila, yung mas conservative na yung kanilang estimate kung magkano man yung cash flow na papasok doon, no? And yung letter B is projections of cash outflows necessarily incurred to generate cash inflows from the continued use of the asset. So, natural, may papasok na pera, kung ito pa rin yung equipment na gagamitin mo, maaaring mag-incur ka ng mga maintenance costs, so ibabawas rin yun, rin yun. So, iti-take into consideration kasi outflow yun eh. Kailangan mong para bang sasakyan yan, no? Bago ka let's say yung taxi. So, pagkalaspag na yung taxi, syempre mas maraming maintenance yan. So, yung bang dati niyang pasada na nakukuha niya na talagang swabe yung yung takbo niya, mabilis yung boundary. Ngayon naabot na siya ng ng mas mahabang oras para makuha yung boundary. Kasi mayroong mga wear and tear na. So, siyempre gagastusan yun yung mga pang-maintenance, no? So, parang ganun rin dito sa dito sa equipment, no? And yung next one, no? Yung the net cash flows received or paid on the disposal of the asset at the end of its useful life. So, yung makukuha pa doon at the end of its life, parang salvage value. So, mamaya i-take up natin yung accounting transaction with regard to this. Now, the last one dito sa accounting issues dito sa impairment loss is the recognition of impairment loss. Now, if the recoverable amount of an asset is less than the carrying amount, an impairment loss has occurred. So the impairment loss shall be recognized immediately by reducing the asset's carrying amount to its recoverable amount. So ito yung like again yung sinabi natin kanina, no, yung carrying amount, ito yung nakikita sa financial position ng asset sa asset portion, no. Less yung yung accumulated depreciation. Now, kung mas mababa pa yung carrying amount o kung mas mababa pa yung recoverable amount kaysa dun sa carrying amount, then there is an impairment loss. Now, yung difference nung carrying amount and yung sa yung recoverable amount will be treated as impairment loss recognized in the profit or loss and presented separately in the income statement. Okay, so puntahan natin itong example to reinforce our learning a while ago. So, at year end, an entity has a machinery with the following cost and accumulated depreciation. So, makikita natin dito yung machinery, yung kanyang original cost is 5 million, less yung accumulated depreciation, it has a 5-year life. So, 2 years na yon. So, it's 5 million divided by 5, that's about 1 million per year times 2. So, yung accumulated niya is 2 million. So, meron siyang carrying amount na 3 million. Now, due to obsolescence and physical damage, the machinery is found to be impaired. Yan. So, because siguro yung wear and tear na rin, saka yung well, relatively bago pa yung machine, pero yung physical damage, no? And obsolescence na rin, no? Kaya nag-contribute dun sa impairment loss. So the entity has determined the following information with respect to the machinery at year end. So fair value less cost of disposal is 2.4 million. Okay, so meron dalawang amounts. And the second one is value in use 2.2 million. Now, kukunin natin kung ano dyan yun sa dalawa ang recoverable amount, no, base dun sa kanilang amount. Now, kung mas mataas ito, then ito yung gagamitin natin as recoverable amount, yung fair value less cost of disposal. So, kunin muna natin yung computation yan. So, the computation here, madali lang ito kasi lang to, basic lang na math. Okay, so the carrying amount is 3 million there, and then less the fair value. Okay, so whichever is higher between the fair value, less cost of disposal, and value in use, siya yung magiging recoverable cost. So fair value less cost of disposal. So this is 2.4 million. So ileless lang natin yan and we will get 600,000. This will be the impairment loss. There. Yan. So kukunin natin yung yung journal entry niyan would be a debit to impairment loss. Okay, for 600,000 and credit accumulated depreciation for 600,000. Okay, now, ang magiging bagong yung revised carrying amount ng asset, no, after this entry would be ito na yung fair value, no, or ito na yung tinatawag na recoverable amount. This would be its new carrying amount, revised carrying amount. Now, yung accumulated depreciation or depreciation niya every year would be based on that amount divided by the remaining life of the asset. Another illustration. Okay, let's go back now to our second example. So, on December 31, 2020, an entity has a machinery with the following cost and accumulated depreciation. So, ito yung data, no? Information. Machinery is 60 million. Accumulated depreciation is 20 million. So, meron pa siyang carrying amount na 40 million. Next paragraph. The entity believes that there has been an impairment of the machinery and accordingly determines the fair value less cost of disposal value in use. So, ipagkukumpara daw itong fair value less cost of disposal and yung value in use, no? Kung sino yung mas mataas sa kanila, no? The higher between either the fair value less cost of disposal and value in use. So siya yung papalit na carrying amount, no? Because of the impairment loss. So the fair value less cost of disposal is 33 million. Ayan. So the machinery has a remaining life of 5 years and is expected to generate an annual undiscounted net cash flow inflow of 9 million. So meron pa raw silang pinoproject na 9 million na papasok sa company taon-taon for the next 5 years dun sa remaining life nung asset. So the appropriate discount rate is 8%. The present value of an ordinary annuity of 1 at 5% for 5 periods is 3.99. So, kukunin muna natin yung present value nitong 9 million. So, parang cumulative cash flow for the next 5 years. So, bago natin pagkumparahin yung kanilang value, no, between yung sa fair value less cost. So that would be 3.99 times 9 million. Okay? So ito yung magiging present value niya for the next so that is about 35 million. Okay, so this is the value in use. Value in use is 35,910,000. Now, kung titignan natin 33 million versus this one, so ito yung mas malaki kaysa dito sa 33 million. So ito yung gagamitin natin as recoverable amount. So to compute for the recoverable amount, so this is the computation. Okay? So lagay lang natin dito yung carrying amount. Okay, carrying amount, which is 40 million. There. And then yung less natin dito, yung bagong recoverable amount na of which is the value in use, recoverable amount, which is 35,910,000. There. So you get the difference between these two. So this would be the impairment loss. Impairment loss of the difference between 40 million and 35,910 is 4,090,000. There. So this is the impairment loss. Now the journal entry for that one. Okay. So this is the journal entry. So a debit to impairment loss of 4,090,000 and a credit to accumulated depreciation. And So also for 4 million. And so the revised carrying amount of the asset would be the recoverable amount. Yan. So pag pinagpantay lang natin dun sa recoverable amount. So the depreciation for December 31 or end of the year, no, if we will journalize the depreciation, so this would be depreciation expense or depreciation, simply depreciation. This would be the revised, which is 35,910,000 divided by 5 years, the remaining life. So that would be 35,910,000 time divided by 5 years. That would be 7,182,000. And accumulated depreciation for 7,100,000 and using natin 7,182,000 pesos. Okay, so hope you can see that. Okay, so if you have any questions regarding the this topic that we have shared, no, so just comment, and of course subscribe and share this information to your classmates, to your colleagues, no, if you find this useful, no. So stay safe, God bless, and keep your hands clean.